One of the other big changes for update 13 is changes to your inventory bags. So if I just open these now, so first off they look kind of similar to how they were before. I've got 6 bags, each with 3 rows of 5. But the important thing to note now is that these are kind of in groups of 5, which will become clear as I explain this. Each bag, you can customise how many slots are in there, and you can also customise the bag. So for example, I can drag this wider to make things appear all on one row, take it down as low as 3. I think it's limited to 3, I'm not sure if it's just because it's the first bag. Yeah, bags 2 and 3 onwards, you can take it down to 1 column if you want. But bag 1, you can never get rid of bag 1 because that's the one with the options on, and it needs to be at least 3 wide in order to show these buttons. If I just take that back across to there, you can lock your bags, which stops you messing stuff up. So I think you probably can't. Can I destroy stuff still? I might just be locking the moving of stuff around. You can buy additional slots if you like, because of course these options always get added to the store. Current price is 333 turbine points. This may change before it goes live, and that will give you 5 extra slots in your bag. I'm not sure how many it goes up to, but the fact that there's essentially 15 slots available in the store, it seems, it's kind of like a 7th bag. And I'm pretty sure those are going to be per character. Doesn't say. All characters on the account with 5 additional inventory slots. So it's an account-wide purchase, that one. So that's not too bad actually. 5 slots, 333. I think that's reasonable. But the real interesting thing, because if you prefer having all your stuff in one big bag, perhaps, or one bag for your good stuff, your potions, your food, that kind of nonsense, and then one bag for all your trash loot, you can customize how many slots are in each bag. And to do that, you click on the cog icon, and you will suddenly see that everything gets overlaid with like red, green, blue. It just tells you which slots are a part of which group. Because if you remember, I say they're in groups of 5. So you see the red ones are all highlighted, the greens, the blues. No matter how much I drag that around, you can see which ones are attached to each other. So what I can do is I can then drag, say, the red ones out of that and stick it in this bag. There we go. Which will then rearrange the colours here because it goes red, green, blue, then white. Not sure what it goes after white, purple. So I can drag everything out of bag 6 now, and you'll see that bag 6 is now empty, whereas bag 1 now has 6 rows. So I can come out of edit mode. And there we go. Bag 6 will disappear because there is no bag 6 now. But I can put as much stuff as I like in this bag. I can still stretch it around as much as I like, and it will just rearrange those slots. If I want bag 6 back again, I can just go back into edit mode. It will magically appear, and I can just stick some extra slots over here again, like so, and then come out of edit mode, and it's saved them back again. So you can mix and match that as much as you like. You can take yourself down to 2 bags, 3 bags, however many bags you like. I'm not sure how it would affect free or premium players who don't have 6 bags to begin with. I'm assuming you can only have a maximum number of bags that you would have access to. So, is it 3 by default or 2 by default for free players? I can't remember. So you may not be able to take it up to 6. That may still be a feature that's still available in the store. I can't tell because I've got 6 bags available. But yeah, it's pretty nifty. It means you can customise your inventory however you see fit. Also change the size of these. You can never get rid of bag 1. That will always exist because this is the one with all the bits and pieces in there. So if you only want one bag, it has to be bag 1. You can still search for stuff on the top of bag 1. So what have I got? I could search for crystal, and that will grey out everything except things that have crystal in the name, which are these 2 things here. So crystal of remembrance, Eolingus crystal of remembrance, and that will work for everything else. So we'll search for coin. I get my field in coins light up, so it makes it easy to find stuff. Particularly if you've got one big bag and it's got loads and loads of crap in it, it makes it easy to see what your bits and pieces are. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Stick that back over there. You can still use your bag icons down the bottom here to show hide individual bags. I assume if your bag has no slots in it, then clicking these buttons will do nothing. So if bag 6 had nothing in there, it would probably not do anything. So just bear that in mind. But yeah, it's a pretty nice change. So another one of the new changes that's coming in update 13 is a updated mailbox system. So if we look at the mailbox now, so far exactly what we're used to, but if we try composing a new mail, it's a completely different interface. So we could still type in somebody's name, subject and all that nonsense, but we can now attach up to 10 items, or 10 stacks of items, to a single mail message. So if I find something, there we go, it's a stack of 10 potions. Cannot mail that to that recipient. Yes, because I'm trying to mail myself, but yeah, it gets a bit complicated. Let's try something that's not going to be bound. There we go, stack of 10 of those. So any item that is not bound, you can quite happily chuck these in. If an item is bound to account, which I can't find a single example of in my bags, if it's bound to account, you can attach it to email to one of your own characters. Bear in mind it's going to check against whoever's name is currently in the to field. So put the to name in first and then try and attach your items. If it's to your account, you can send it to your characters quite happily, there's no penalty for that. If you want to send bound to account or bound item to somebody else who's not on your account, you can do so, but it will charge you mithril coins, and probably at a unpleasant rate as well. So although it's possible to do, it might not be particularly nice to do, because it'll be expensive. But if you want to send something really shiny to one of your friends, you should now be able to do so. But yeah, you can just attach as many of these things as you like. So like so. This will increase the postage costs as things go up. You can still do your cash on delivery mail as well, so if you want to attach 10 items and charge somebody for receiving all 10 of those items, you can do so. And of course you can see your current money and mithril coin balances down the bottom, so just put in all the stuff you want, click send. It's not going to like it because I'm sending it to myself. But this is the only character I've gone bull roarer now. When you receive stuff, that will be in your mailbox as usual. Another change, which is exclusive to people who are currently subscribed, is that when you receive your mail, unfortunately I can't show you this now, you'll get your mail notification down in the bottom right or wherever you've got it. You can just click that and essentially have your mailbox accessible anywhere. You don't have to visit the mailbox to read your mail or get your items out of your mail. You can access it anywhere. That option's only available while you're subscribed. If you drop your subscription, you won't have access to that. It is completely VRP exclusive while you're subscribed. But it's quite handy, so if you're in the wilderness somewhere, saves you running all the way back to town to get your new bits and pieces. Particularly if you're just going to get a piece of crap in the mail and it's disappointing when you think somebody might have sent you something shiny. But yeah, it's quite a nice change. It's now possible to cross into Rohan from the Dunland side of the map. So as you can see, this side, I'm on the Dunland side of the Fords of Isen, which is here on the map. And all I need to do is walk up to this gate, and as this gentleman on the left will say, if I get a bit closer to him, approach the gate to reach the lands to the east. So just drive straight up to that and I will be teleported. And I'm now in Western Rohan, which is later in the timeline because now the fords behind me are all on fire and everyone's dead. So yeah, now I'm on this side of the map and I can do exactly the opposite if I find the direction I'm going. By running all the way back across to the west side of the fords, and there'll be a similar guy guarding the teleport gate back across. So as you can see, everyone is dead. This is where we currently were as of the Helm's Deep expansion. But we'll get to go to some cool places like flooded Isengard over there. But anyway, just up here on the left, there will be a guy next to a tree trunk. There he is. And he will say something similar as well. Climb over the fallen tree to reach the lands to the west, so we just drive straight towards this tree and teleport. And then we'll be back on the Dunland side. Just over here, just south of Grimbold's camp there. So to access the new flooded Isengard, all you have to do is go north from Grimbold's camp, just as you used to, but this time you need to be on the western Rohan side of the Fords of Isen, which is where everything has been destroyed. And then we can just ride up the road here. As you can see, there's been a bit of flooding around the sides of the road. There are angry Dunlendings. This is part of the quest that you should get more or less as soon as you log in after update 13. I think you might get it from Gandalf, but I can't confirm that. But yeah, as you can see up here, as we get closer and closer to Isengard, it's looking like a bit of a mess. Everything is broken, and the walls looking pretty buggered up right now. Do you have a special map for this one yet? No, we don't. Okay. Yeah, as you can see, it's been battered up ever so slightly since we were last here. We can go inside. No trolls guarding the entrance as well, which makes our life a bit easier. And yeah, it's a little bit wet inside here. Luckily, I'm on my horse, so I'm not going to drown as a hobbit. But yeah, the Ents have messed the place up. So I can't really tell you too much about what quests and stuff may be involved around here. I do know there is going to be some kind of Voice of Saruman sequence, but it's going to be in a video at the end of the new book, because the new book ends the Volume 3 epic storyline. Not sure if the back door over there still works. You can still drive up to the entrance, where it's a bit drier. My horse's ass there. Yeah, flooded Isengard. No Ents seem to be around though at the moment, but we should be able to do stuff with those guys. There's also going to be some kind of Ent session play, which I believe is probably going to be as Treebeard, because the devs have mentioned something about a tree model with and without Merry and Pippin on you. So you guys probably get to roam around with Merry and Pippin on his shoulders destroying this. But since I haven't done that, I can't necessarily confirm that yet, so take that with a pinch of salt. So to access the new Fangorn area then, first off we have to come to flooded Isengard and speak to those Dunlendings who are near the entrance that we saw earlier. And he sends us over to Quickbeam the Ent, who for some reason is now white. I swear he used to be brown. And he's got a pet friend here, which is a Huon. And if we speak to that guy, we should be able to travel off. Let's just take this quest.
Hasty folk.
I'm indeed hasty.
Now, what business have you with the Ents?
I want to go and visit your land, sir. Which I'm not allowed to do so. Okay, so can't do that yet unless I get a few more quests done in the Balthelion field. Anyway, the end place you can go to, Derndingle, the new Fangorn area, you can only get to that via this Huon. It's an instanced area. It's not currently connected to anywhere on the landscape, so which is a bit of a pain in the backside for getting there. I'm not sure if you can bind any ports or anything to Fangorn on the inside once you're there, because I haven't been there yet, so I can't tell you that. But that's how you're going to get to the new area anyway. Okay, so after doing 2 quick quests for Quickbeam, and there are some optional side quests you can discover while inside Isengard. You'll be at the point where I am now, where you can talk to this Huon, and he will take you to Derndingle, so let's do that. So now we're deep inside Fangorn Forest. I'm guessing there's probably no map. Oh, there is! There we go. Interesting one. Doing some kind of valley deep inside Fangorn. That's called the Emwood. So let's go have a little explore around here. Got very deep grass. Loads of Ents. There we go. There's another person around here. Bog Lurker, who is allied to the Ents of Fangorn Forest. Various other Ents and stuff around here. But yeah, I'm not going to explore too much in here because I want some surprises for myself as well. But we can presumably talk to Quick Beam. And yeah, he's going to give us loads and loads of other quests and things to do. But yeah, so that's the Entwood area. Not sure if there's going to be any more Fangorn coming in future updates. They did say something along the lines of we're giving you a little bit of stuff now and then more later. I'm not sure whether they were referring to different regions that are coming later in the year, or whether it's more to do around the Isengard and Fangorn area. But I guess we'll find out sooner or later. But yeah, that's the Entwood. Another one of the major changes for update 13 is that not one, not two, but 3 of the Eriador regions are being revamped to make them a bit better and a bit more efficient for questing and stuff like that. So those 3 regions, the first one is the North Downs, which is level 20 plus, which take you about to level 35-ish. It's an alternative to the Lone Lands region, which is completely free for new players. The North Downs one, you do need to buy a quest pack to get there. But basically they've tidied this one up a bit. I feel it was in a pretty good state already. There's plenty and plenty of quests to be getting on with. And I'm covering that in my Let's Play at the moment, but I haven't been playing it too much because I've been anticipating the changes coming in this update. So it'll be a bit new and fresh if things are slightly different. Yeah, this is a pretty cool region to level in, but you don't necessarily need it if you're a free player and you're saving your TPs for something else. The second region is the Trollshaws, which is a region that people didn't particularly like because there was not very many quests in there, and the quests that were available were mostly fellowship quests. So they've tidied this region up a bit. So this is between the Lone Lands and goes all the way up to Rivendell. Level wise it's roughly 30 to 40-ish. So hopefully they've added a few more solo quests and just made things a little bit easier, and generally added more quests because there was really not that many. So it wasn't particularly worth the purchase basically. And the final one is the Misty Mountains, which is all the way up here above Rivendell. So this one had a bit more quests than Trollshaws, still fairly light on quests, things were spread out. You know, it could have done with a few more quests. It's pretty good thematically, I don't think it had too many problems with that. So I assume they've added just a few more quests and just made quest progression a bit easier in this place. Just to give more value into that quest pack, so that'll be pretty cool as well. So those are the 3 regions that are being revamped, all the other ones are still the same. Obviously there's going to be some new quests in the brand new areas that are coming as well, so bear that in mind. Flawed symbols of the Elder King are going to be added to the game at long last in update 13. However, though, since there's no endgame raid this year, they're being added instead to tier 3 skirmishes as a very rare drop, and also to classic raid instances, and presumably by that they only mean the ones that will scale to level 95. So BG, Hellegrod, Ostanhof. Is there any more? I think that's the only 3 that comes to my mind off the top of my head. And you can use those to make your crafted first stage legendary items for level 95. To my knowledge, they are not being added to the skirmish camp this year, so you will have to do one of those to get hold of one. And no doubt they will be put on the auction house for silly amounts of money as well, if you can't be bothered to grind for those. So once again, Turbine's going to be doing some balance changes to the difficulty of the game because it's still a bit too easy at the moment. The first thing they'll be doing in update 13 is they'll be making the mobs a little bit tougher again. The second change is that they will be slightly changing some of our ratings to percentages things on things like physical mastery, just to bring those down a bit because our DPS is pretty strong. And the last one, which has proven to be the most controversial so far, is that they are currently thinking about removing the physical and tactical mitigation that you get from Vitality, Might and Will. So you get no physical or tactical mitigation from those primary stats, which will pretty much be a lot of your mitigations. So you will now only be able to get those stats from armor and from raw physical and tactical mitigation now. So what that basically means is that everyone's mitigation will drop considerably if it goes live as it currently is, which is not necessarily a bad thing because things will hit harder, you'll be a bit squishier now, and since everyone has so much raw vitality these days, everyone was getting so much mitigation and you weren't taking much damage either, which contributed to a lot of these problems. So basically it's going to force you to hopefully be a bit more thoughtful about your itemization options, maybe pick up a few more bits of gear that have got some mitigation on there if you're feeling a bit squishy. Probably creates a bit of a headache for tanks. I mean, they should have raw mitigation on their gear a bit more often than other classes anyway. But yeah, it's going to force you to think about your gear, which is always a good thing in MMOs. But yeah, until we're able to play around with this on live, if it goes live as it is, we can't really say if it's too far in swinging the pendulum too far in the other direction to make us really weak now. From the limited playing around I have done, it seems reasonable. I may change my mind once I've played around with it on live, but yeah, it's subject to change, so touch wood on that one. There's going to be a new epic book coming with update 13, which is book 14. This will end volume 3's epic storyline, so at some point soon we should be starting volume 4, whatever that's going to be. It should be later this year. It does require you to have completed the epic storyline in the Helm's Deep expansion, so you need to have completed volume 3 book 13, Helm's Deep. And the quest should pick up from whoever it finished with last time, which I believe was Gandalf. So if you find Gandalf somewhere in Helm's Deep, he should give you the quest. And basically this should deal with going off to Isengard and giving Saruman a good telling off, shall we say. But you must have done the Helm's Deep epic storyline, which, since that is part of the Helm's Deep expansion purchase, you need to have purchased Helm's Deep, done those 3 books, and then you can do the new epic storyline for book 14. There are several updates coming to PvMP in update 13. So first off, free peoples can now enter the Etten Moors starting at level 20, and when they do so they will have their characters scaled up to the level cap, so level 95 currently. Just like the big battles, it does mean that somebody who is a lower level character will be comparatively weaker than a level 95 person. I do believe they get some kind of token amounts of audacity to make up for the fact that they're not level 95 and wearing the audacity armor that they can buy. But I assume it's going to be pretty minimal amounts. They're still going to be pretty damn squishy, and they'll still just be using scaled up gear, which will be less good than level 95 stuff. So they won't necessarily be completely decimated by the creep forces, but they're not going to be pretty strong either. So but you know, it's going to boost the numbers of people on the creep side at least, and probably give the creep some easy infamy. Another one of the big changes that's coming is that you can purchase temporary passes to get into the Etten Moors if you're a free or premium player. Now those are only temporary. I think they last for 6 hours, the last I knew, and they cost mithril coins. Probably an unfavourable amount of mithril coins as well. But you will pay for those if you go to one of the stable masters which send you to the Etten Moors. So Southbury, Nickel Delving, Foynes Gate, Kellendim. On that stable master you'll be able to pay to get a buff which will let you stay in the Etten Moors for 6 hours. I'm assuming after those 6 hours are up it will immediately teleport you out no matter what you're doing. So just bear that in mind. but it does mean that perhaps freemium premium players can sample the Ettamores, maybe decide if they want to subscribe to stay in there on a more permanent basis. But it's probably definitely going to be completely unviable to do this on the long term, spending all these mithril coins for these 6-hour bursts of PvMP, because that's going to get pretty expensive. Another quite handy change that's coming with update 13 is there's no longer a maximum level limit for tasks, so you can take those. I think previously it's limited to 7 or 10 levels, and if you were more than 7 or 10 levels above the task level, then you could never take them. But now you can take them no matter how high level you are. So these ones in Bree, which are probably about level 15ish, yeah, level 15, I can take them even though I'm 95 now, whereas before it would say there's no tasks available. And it's pretty handy for grinding some reputation, being able to do tasks, particularly for the Limelight Gorge in the Great River, which pretty much the main source of reputation was from doing tasks, and once you out-leveled that by going into Rohan, then it was near impossible to grind that out. So this is a pretty welcome change, particularly if you need to grind up any reputation for any lower level places that you've now out-leveled. So yeah, it's great. One of the nice little things that will be changing in update 13 is that you can suppress loads and loads of these confirmation dialogues that pop up and get irritating. Perhaps the most important one would be in the crafting screen, where if you crit an item, get a nice purple item or whatever, it will prompt you to enter a name for your item, and you can just say whatever you like, then yes or no, I don't want to do it. And if you're just grinding like XP for your guild or crafting, and one of those comes up while you're making a cup of coffee or something like that, it gets really annoying because it just stops your progress. So there's now a checkbox called disable item inscription, which you can just check, and that will stop that coming up ever. There's loads of other places in the game as well where all these confirmation dialogues will have something along this line: disable something or other. So for example, on item XP runes, when you're applying those to legendary items, you no longer get that. If you tick the little box on that window, you'll never see it again, which is brilliant. Also, I think when you're destroying items, you might be able to get rid of that one as well, and a few other places. There's at least a good half a dozen places in the game where these have been added, and it just makes life a lot easier because you don't have to keep saying yes to all these things. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this update 13 preview. As this is all on Bull, things are subject to change before it goes live, and I've only covered the major changes that are in the first 2 builds of Bull. There's probably going to be at least a third, possibly even a 4th Bull test before this hits live. Currently, update 13 is scheduled to arrive the 1st or 2nd week of April. That's the last time Sapiens gave us an update anyway. Which will be shortly before the anniversary festival hits. So yeah, just bear in mind anything that's been in this video could change. Most of it's probably nailed down a bit here and now, so particularly like the new regions and stuff like that. Yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed that, so stay tuned for more LOTRO videos in the future.